In the words of Daddy Yankee,
Reggaeton is street, reggaeton is sex, reggaeton is the struggle.
And reggaeton is everywhere. Most of the names that are associated with reggaeton are male. Think J Balvin, Daddy Yankee, Gente de Zona, Zion Lennox, Bad Bunny.
I think that women have been pretty underrepresented in reggaeton. I think it's also important to understand that reggaeton does not operate in a vacuum.
But women like Ivy Queen, Lisa M, Glory, DJ Bembona, DJ Riobamba, Tomasa Del Real have been a part of the scene and are among those trying to change it and its image.
And it's always been a boys' club and it still is, but I feel like with that one woman that's breaking through, to pull in other women to be like, this could be, we can all be queens, we can all share that space.
Hey guys, it's Sana, and this week we're gonna talk a bit about what it means to be a woman in the reggaeton scene and how that's changing. In a recent episode, we looked at the roots of reggaeton, talking to pioneers, scholars, and innovators about how one of the most popular music genres has evolved over the last 35 years. Reggaeton went from being a musical expression from the queserios of Puerto Rico with Jamaican and Panamanian roots to now having its bass rhythm, known as dembow, being used in songs that have blown up on the charts.
Despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. I don't really wanna fight anymore. I don't really wanna fake it no more. As soon as I walk in, boys start they talking, right as that booty sway.
But despite its success, reggaeton has a reputation for being really macho and hypersexualizing women. Women are usually presented in music videos and on album covers as scantily clad models, often faceless. When they're singing, they're usually voices in the background exclaiming sexualized phrases like "ay papi," or offering sexualized hooks for the songs, like Glory in Don Omar's classic hit, Dale Don Dale.
There are a lot of songs and certainly a lot of videos, portraying women essentially as sex objects for the stars of the genre.
That's music historian Wayne Marshall, and he says that the hypersexualization of women isn't just a problem in reggaeton.
Now, that's not terribly exceptional in the world of popular music. So without excusing it, I will just point out that those same depictions can be found in rap videos and rock videos and salsa videos and Latin pop videos and just, you name it.
While Marshall's right that the hypersexualization of women in reggaeton isn't unique to the genre, reggaeton has been targeted. In the 90s and early 2000s, the Puerto Rican government targeted reggaeton, and in 2002, it led an anti-pornography campaign that focused largely on reggaeton music videos. In addition to Puerto Rico being a pretty religious society, DJ Riobamba points out that it's hard to ignore the role that race and class have played in condemning reggaeton as obscene or pornographic music.
I think that racism gets coded as classism in Latin America and in Latin, diaspora communities. And so when I've heard reggaeton be stigmatized in the past, it's been like, oh no, that's like hood music or that's like low class or whatever. And it's like, come on, like, what are we really getting at here? And like the roots of reggaeton are in Black communities.
But that doesn't mean there aren't problems in reggaeton's depictions of women, as Petra Rivera-Rideau, who focuses on race and pop culture, points out.
I think at the same time that some artists or some songs might be contesting racism, they can also reproduce the objectification of women. We have to acknowledge the kind of positive aspects of the music, the ways that it has provided a space to talk about some forms of inequality, but also the ways that it has reproduced other forms of inequality.
But those depictions shouldn't erase the role of women in reggaeton's history and evolution.
Recently, now there's been like a whole movement of feminine energy that's coming into, and it's always been around. I mean, we've had people like beyond Ivy Queen that are legends, has been killing the game.
Take, for example, women like La Atrevida, Ivy Queen, Lisa M, Glory, Jenny La Sexy Voz. La Atrevida was a Panamanian reggae en español artist, also known as Rude Girl, considered a pioneer for women in the sound that would later develop as reggaeton. Both Glory and Jenny La Sexy Voz, while reggaeton artists in their own right, provided the vocals for some of the most well-known reggaeton hooks. Despite that, they both had not only a difficult time breaking into the mainstream, but sometimes didn't even get credit for their work. Then there's Lisa M, who's been referred to as La Pionera, or the pioneer, for her role in developing and raising the platform of Latin rap. She's considered one of the first female Latin rappers. Then there's the only reggaeton artist to reach the success of her male counterparts in the early 2000s, Ivy Queen. Ivy Queen joined Puerto Rican reggaeton collective The Noise in 1995 and quickly became a force to be reckoned with. She went on to have a successful solo career, known for turning the machismo reggaeton was known for on its head.
She's a very talented artist who has had a very long career that has kind of spanned almost the entire history of reggaeton. And I think a lot of that has to do with her talent as a rapper and her ability to continuously create this innovative musical style.
And in a May 2018 interview with Remezcla, Ivy Queen characterized her legacy as talking about empowerment when reggaeton was talking about women and their butts. And it was her 2003 hit, Quiero Bailar, that became an empowerment anthem for talking about sexual consent. In fact, the entire basis of the song is about a guy expecting sex from a woman after a night of dancing, and that's just not how it works, buddy. That song would go on to become an integral part of the mainstreaming of reggaeton in the early 2000s. But both DJ Riobamba and DJ Bembona, who are New York-based Latinx DJs and the first to play reggaeton in New York's renowned Boiler Room Club, point out how traditionally only one woman's been allowed a space in the mainstream reggaeton scene. Others just relegated to hooks.
Ivy Queen, right? Queen singular, because there's one woman who's allowed to have that place. You know, or like there are the hooks on the tracks of like Glory or Jenny La Sexy Voz, so you hear like a little snippet, but it was always like a really marginalized place.
But this is changing, with more women coming into the reggaeton scene. An example of a woman making waves recently and controversially is Chilean neo-perreo artist Tomasa Del Real. Tomasa Del Real is a tattoo artist turned reggaeton performer known for her sexually graphic lyrics. And because of her centric of women's sexuality in her music, she's been heralded as taking reggaeton into its next phase, one led by women.
Like the sexual nature of the music and like the way that women are talked about. Like I play those tracks because I'm gonna stand in front of it and be like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like I'm not supposed to take up this space, but like I'm gonna reclaim that space in the club in the way that like this was never intended to be.
While there's still a lot of debate on exactly what sexual agency and empowerment looks like in the reggaeton scene, Marshall points out that it's important to treat the genre like any other genre.
Reggaeton deserves as much of a chance and as much a sort of sense of scrutiny and kind of getting a sense of what you like there and what you don't as any.
So with reggaeton back in the mainstream, the genre is ripe for having its direction changed, especially by women. Hey guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let us know in the comments who your favorite reggaeton artists are, especially women artists.